Good afternoon. Welcome in, Presley Rufus. Disruptor, how you doing? It's really good, actually, dude. Really, really good. Long as CIG don't fuck it up before live. But yeah, it actually works now. Been a couple of times where I've randomly exploded, but it's only around a certain area, like an outpost, so you just have to be careful, I suppose. But it could also be the new cargo areas that are causing it. I don't know. No, though. That's not gonna get fixed until we get control surfaces. It's actually meant for certain reasons. I'll wait for CIG to disclose it. I can't wait for the fire stuff. It's gonna be amazing. Hey, Sunrise, how you doing, dude? Welcome in, welcome in. Hey, Sideways, good morning to you, dude. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Michael TheDarkLaw, and welcome to another episode of The Darkness here on Twitch. It's the 10th, it's Saturday, which means we have another test to do. Also, possibly Wave 2 today. Possibly. Which is kind of cool. If they're thinking about Wave 2, we might see open by next weekend. There's a good chance. Which would be awesome. Because I've already said that I think we won't get free 24 until end of the month. It's kind of looking like that's going to be, but awesome. Also, the fire in Inside Star Citizen on Thursday was absolutely amazing. And yeah, some interesting things on the live show yesterday. Let me just get the official thing here. Hey, Maximus, how you doing, dude? This was the most interesting one, right? Will players with crime stat be allowed to use the main jump points? If you have a minimum of CS3, then you will not be allowed to use the jump points. How do you clear a crime stat in Pyro? We do not want to reveal too much, but going to jail is one way. How do you go to jail when there's no comrays? Like, I'm kind of disappointed with this because in my mindset, and especially with the test of Pyro that we've done, it's always no comms and it's gang versus gang and stuff like that. So why are the UEE involved at all, and why the hell do we have to clear our crime stat to use these things? It's just, oh my god, who is making this choice? This is the only thing I read in the whole thing that I'm like, why? Why? No, it'll be the Stanton jail disruptor. Again, literally Pyro is a lawless space, so how are you getting a crime stat when there's no UEE comms? I understand that you can't use the gates if you've got a crime stat, so that's awesome. You literally don't have a crime in Pyro and you don't have a crime in Stanton. You can use it in mass murder and do all these things, but it's like, yeah, but again, Presley, if I go through each one of these gates with no crime stat and then I get into the center of Pyro, which is not UE space, and mass murder people, how do I get a crime stat that's going to affect me going through these gates? You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make any sense why a lawless space, you get a crime stat. You're not doing any crime. You're just doing a day-to-day job in that area. It seems very much like trying to make it where, again, covering Care Bears in bubble wrap, so, you know, people can't just do what they want. This whole idea that this place is meant to be dangerous, yet it's not dangerous. It's very interesting that they've chosen to go this way. And we'll have to see. What I don't like is we do not want to reveal too much, but going to jail is one way. It's like, how do you go to jail in the first place? So when you snap your neck or some bounty hunter captures you, you apparently teleport through a fucking wormhole? You don't know that, Presley. You're just making up things now, dude. You don't know that, dude. But the other point being is that they said that? Well, not in the notes that I've got here. In the notes, it's saying that you have to go to jail or do another way of getting rid of your crime. So how do you hack off your crime stat in Pyro, which has no thing? Like, if you actually look at the map of Pyro, the jump gate is right into the corner of the system. So it's just such a stupid idea to even have it where you go to jail, you know? It's very, very backwards. Like, UE shouldn't even be represented in this system whatsoever. You think that one station is going to be protected by all the criminals inside Pyro? No, it wouldn't be. And then the next gate is connected to Nyx. You really think Nyx allows UE to fucking sit in that location? I doubt it. Like, that seems very fucking crazy shit, like. Hey, Scantus, how you doing? It's very, very backwards into making sure that people feel safe when they shouldn't feel safe at all in Pyro. You should be going in there knowing that everyone in their whole gang is going to fuck with you. And there's nothing you can do about it unless you fuck back. It should not be like Stanton. It needs to be dangerous. When people go into Pyro, they need to realize that they're in danger. Not just fucking, oh, these people won't do it because they'll get a crime stat and then they can't go through the gate. It's like, It's not difficult to have people on the opposite side to get you, you know. But we'll see. We'll see how this goes. I'll be interested when it goes to Evocati, because this is one thing I'm going to be looking at. I do not like the idea of comrays in this. Which means, like, well, hopefully they don't have comrays. But yeah, that was the only thing that popped up. Everything else seemed to be reasonably fair. We have a patch, but no notes on if any fixes on the Hornet. We're gonna jump in just now and check that out. Because that's the only ship that I've sort of suggested to CIG that still needs to be done. Everything else seems to be really, really good regarding Flight for Atmosphere. Obviously, the weapons are still meh. But CIG can do multiple things. Like, my idea would be is when you go into atmosphere, your range of weapon is nerfed by half. So instead of being able to land a shot at 1,000 meters, you can only land at 500 meters. This would allow it where people can get really close and personal. And it would be so much better because of that. But we'll see. We won't know until probably next year anyway. Yo, Sideways. Thank you very much for that. 8 months. Let's go. Spike, how are you doing today?
Let's go!
Dude, oh, they've actually done a full sort of like partial reset. Trying to get my big code thing on my screen, not on our watch, chat. I'll give you the data when I feel like giving you the data. At least this doesn't just make me the teeth now, which is cool. Alright. Let's do Orison. We'll do USA, because every time I'm on EU, it seems to be fucking up anyway. Let me quickly check this out. Patch notes. Let's quickly go over. Updated Aurora Sears cargo physics. Yeah, that's alright. Rank on certain hull missions. I guess, yeah, so yeah. Appears to get slowed down, cause hangers to. So that's been fixed apparently. Nothing on audio, it looks like. Hmm. Oh. Shit, Hearthstone, Grimhex might be fixed now. Global turrets manned? Yeah, because AI have not been shooting with their turrets. Oh, this is very interesting, right? We need to test Grimhex as well then. Because Grimhex has been set up where you could just kill people freely and the guns wouldn't shoot at you. And I was like, man, no, it should remain like this. This is good. But I guess it's gonna get fixed. To be fair, it actually allows us to test out the other bug that we had in 3.23, which was the aggression timers wouldn't let you go in certain locations and stuff, so you could literally transfer server and the aggression timer was still up or still on. Oh, quickly see how fluid this is.
Enjoying the view? Our recently redesigned Crusader Industries shuttlecraft feature
the icons. Don't you think, guys, the icons are too big, right? I generally feel, and also, why doesn't it search out into this space here? You know?
The next shuttle is approaching the station.
I'll check that in a bit. Yeah, it did. Thank you. Why doesn't it extend to here?
At Orson Skyway Shuttle Service, we aim
And you get more in, basically.
Last call for passengers. The shuttle is
that just
preparing to
doesn't.
depart.
That seems really strange. If I do this, then. Oh, you got to redo it. Oh, it's not adaptive. Oh, it's not adaptive, chat. Look at it. It's off to the side here. Ew. Ew. Alright. At least it looks a little bit better. It's so slow? No, it's not, dude. What are you talking about? It's the fastest fighter in the game right now. In atmosphere.
Last call for passengers. The shuttle is preparing to depart. Please clear the hatch. Shuttle will be departing.
Still lagging. I guess this stuff won't change until we get the new trends and stuff in 4.0. All that's changed is Ondo is gravity actually has proper layers now, and so does air resistance. That's why you think it's slow, but you're still able to push over Mach 1 off the deck on Daymar, which is the fastest. Like most ships can do that. The Arrow's the fastest one, apart from the Scorpius, which I think the Scorpius is broken. But yeah, they've just basically added in new layers for gravity. So if you want to get up to maximum speed, you have to get up to about 30,000 feet, which is roughly about 10k, and that's actually realistic. For a fighter to get to its maximum speed, like an F-22, it would have to roughly get about between 15 and 30,000 feet to escape gravity enough to be able to do that.
The shuttle is preparing.
Again, for low flying, it makes sense, dude. Like, you can't have a game where one rule breaks for another rule. So for me, you're able to achieve over Mach 1 at literally 5 feet off the deck, which is also impossible, by the way. in no orbit
Providing
gravity
connections to all
whatsoever
major
would you be able to go at
platforms, Crusader
that speed.
Industries is happy
So I
to
still think
offer safe
CIG
and
have been
convenient transit
very
to all
like
visitors aboard the Orson Skyway shuttle
reasonable
service.
in
Have
making
a
it
pleasant stay.
where you can still get to 500-600 ms off the deck, dude. It just depends on the ship, and eventually down the line, even surfaces will change things out a bit more. The fire video feels like everything in the verse is made out of firelighters. No, that's just for the showcase. You've got to remember that that's them just showing you at the extreme level, you know?
Looking for your next stop after visiting Crusader? Consider the lunar system.
Part of it's just general annual arrow tuning for me, though, not just atmosphere. No, if you actually fly like the Gladius and stuff like that, everything has a completely different vibe now. And the reason for that is they're starting to work on the parameters for control surfaces that we probably won't get this year. But it makes sense when you actually look at it. Again, they've removed the restriction in air resistance on the yaw and most ships. And certain ships can go fast in a straight line, but they can't turn for shit, whilst the arrow can go fast and turn, unlike other ships that drift massively when you attempt to do these things.
Please visit us again.
So when we actually get air surfaces, the arrow's going to be able to do batshit crazy stuff because the IFCS doesn't have the parameter already in for it. Unfortunately, it's just where you have to wait until everything is done before you can judge on it, sadly. Like, the whole thing from 3.23 all the way up to 4.0 is there's going to be constant changes, and then there's going to be even more changes when we get the atmosphere stuff next year. But CIG are not going to start working on things for it to be like, oh, well, it doesn't work for 3.24. Well, tough shit. Nobody cares about 3.24, nobody cares about 4.0 when it comes to atmosphere. You only care about it when the finalized stuff is in. And as far as I'm concerned, get the finalized stuff in. Stop, like, doing, really bad sort of things. Like hot fixes and stuff like that. Just get it all set up for the future. And when you see it that way, all the ships that are how they're flying in 3.24 make sense. Because again, they won't be able to do certain things than they are just now. Why are not allowed to get me hangar here? There we go. I've seen a video where the F-14 goes supersonic by a carrier about 50... Yeah, you can go Mach 1, dude. Yeah, of course. Going Mach 1 off the deck is not difficult, dude. But we can do that in Star Citizen. The problem is, we used to be able to do Mach 2.4 off the deck, and there's no fucking way you were going that fast. Like right now, we're still able to achieve 600 meters a second in the Scorpius 5 feet off the deck. You gotta be fucking shitting me that that's possible. And you also gotta remember, the F-14 is a very special fighter for its design. It's very, very fucking, like, modernized for its era. Remember, that thing came out in the Cold War, right? And it was literally able to fucking go batshit crazy at speed. And literally, the moment it opens its wings, it had, like, ridiculous rate ability. Like, one of the best fucking one-circle fighters. It was absolutely insane. So again, we're still able to do some of these crazy maneuvers in Star Citizen. The difference is you can no longer do Mach 2 off the deck. The only thing that can do Mach 2 off the deck, guys, is fucking missiles. At least this worked first time. That's good. So again, CIG have just streamlined more things, which I'm completely agreeing with. If you go up to 30,000 feet in the game, you'll get to 1,200 meters a second, which is Mach 3.4, right? That's absolutely batshit crazy. Or sorry, 2-4. It's 2-4. No, 3-4. 3-4. We're talking about Blackbird status when you're doing stuff like that. And not even at the height that the Blackbird had to do it at. The Blackbird had to do it at 80,000 feet to achieve something like that. So again, not being able to fucking cruise at 840. Remember, the Arrow used to be able to do 840 ms 5 feet off the deck on Daymar. That is fucking stupid. So I'm completely happy that it can actually do now good controllable speed.
Please proceed to sign that.
Again, the biggest issue in Star Citizen, and I will keep saying this, is not our relative speed. It's our visual speed. What CIG do to create things to make it feel like we're going fast. There's not enough blurs. There's not enough space dust. There's a lot of things missing from the game that would give you visual speed. Or sorry, I should say a visual representation of speed. And we just don't have that. That's why everyone's complaining that it feels slow. Now, if CIG could just get on with that, and maybe add in the element of sound as well, where you start hearing your thrusters tire out and all these other things, or maybe a sonic boom, then people wouldn't harp on about it feeling so slow. Because generally, we're moving at absolutely insane speeds. The problem is it does not represent to what you see or hear, you know? Yeah. And if they can nail that, I think everyone will be happy. And we won't need to, we won't need to worry about, people going, oh, the game is too slow, we need to do 500 ms. No, we don't. We don't need to. Sorry. If anything, I would like CIG to get rid of the afterburner system altogether and make it realistic. You know what I mean? I think that would be really fucking healthy. Where am I going? I think that would be really healthy for the game, right? And they could base it off fuel instead of capacitor. I get what they're trying to do with like a gimmicky sort of gameplay sort of thing, but yeah, like let's get a realistic afterburner system. Let's get a proper brake system for atmosphere. And I think if we had that, it would also make it where like ships like the Arrow could be really fucking agile, because you wouldn't have to keep pressing a button basically, you know? Well, what I'm talking about is a realistic afterburner system, Ondo. So instead of a boost button like a mana gauge or something like that, you basically... So whenever a fighter plane gets up to it, like its standard, it's not idle, it's, the one before afterburner. I can't remember what it's called. No, it's not. I'll need to look it up. It's basically something when it's called where you're at your maximum speed before you... No, not time travel, no. So basically, as a plane is moving at full speed, you engage afterburner. Now, afterburner is not like a boost. It basically is just the way your engines get to the hottest level, and it burns a shit ton of fuel from here. So instead of you just boosting up to like 200 meters a second and then going back, mill power, thank you so much. So we're at mill power, and say we're doing 200 meters a second. If you increased afterburner, you would go up to 240 Ondo, but when you let go of afterburner, you wouldn't slow down to 220 instantaneous like we have in Star Citizen. There would be an energy deprived state, even in space, basically. So instead of you pressing a boost to get extra movement, you can just fucking lock it in. And your fuel starts to drain a lot faster because of that. Not like super, but you would have to fluctuate in between afterburner and mill power to literally not run out of fuel, essentially. But you could technically move your ship into realms of Narnia at the expense of maybe burning out your engines or running out of fuel, right? And this is where I would love Star Citizen to go with actually like the afterburner system. Is that you have this continuous high power heat to do stuff with your ships, your big ships, you know, coming into port, you're like, and you can really use it to slow down as well, at the expense of obviously not, I should have done this before I left, hang on. The whole mana pool thing, I've never been a fan of CIG's idea with the mana pool. See, I've not played HunterNet to know the different stages, but I'm just not a fan of planes, spaceships having a mana pool. A level of energy that depletes and it regens. It depletes and regens. I just don't like this idea. I think anything done with thrusters should be where you can go from mill power to afterburner power, and your energy is used when you come out of that system. And it basically drains your fuel instead. And this would be the same for missiles as well. They don't have the ability to constantly stay in pursuit mode, basically. They basically launch, and when they go pitbull at you, they don't get this amazing agility to spin around and come back on you. A missile maybe has 1 or 2 times to track you, even a SAM site, and if it passes you like a second time, it ain't coming back on you. It's out of fuel and out of energy. And energy as in not like it's boosters, it's the fact that when a missile flies, when it turns, it depletes energy. When it turns again, it depletes energy. And eventually down the line, it can't get back up to the pursuit speed of a fighter constantly moving. And this is where, again, it should pass you once if you deflect it, and maybe it comes back around again, but it needs to arc around and come in. It can't just fucking 180 turn and chase after you. It's really bad mechanics in Star Citizen because of that. And we would be in such a good state if they could do that with missiles, and they could do it with the afterburner of our ships. Because energy, even in space, would be a fantastic thing to use. So, my prime example would be is, see, for example, we can get up to 500, it just doesn't go back to 200 instantaneous. It's so stupid that it does this. And this is one of the biggest things I just don't like with how CIG have got the boost system. I don't care about the master mode system going from SEM to nav mode. I'm talking about when you're in SEM and you boost up to 300 ms, it just doesn't fucking instantly handbrake you. It should basically energy deprive you, so it slows down. So if you get up to 400 ms, you can remain at 400 ms for a bit, but then it starts to trickle back. Unless you apply reverse thrust with afterburner or whatever, full burn, to be able to do these things. Now, if CIG did this, we would be in a really good state for fighters, because it means that whoever can use their extra energy, their extra momentum, they could do, excuse me chat, little hiccup there, they could do batshit shit. And it's all that CIG, we don't need to get faster SEM speeds, we just need to be able to hold that energy. So when you're doing a turn, even in atmosphere, you're able to do more shit. This would also allow you to do your maneuver that you like to do, Ondo. Basically twisting the ship round, using momentum to carry you, and then you burn at a certain time. But it's not where you just press boost. You're holding the rev, full burn, you know, pushing it around, and then you're pulling it back because you know that you need to slow down to maintain a good turn rate. Not just fucking hold the pump down. And again, if you use this in combat and the fuel gauge started to go down faster because you're constantly using a full burn, it means people who don't understand speed, don't understand micromanagement and all these things would eventually stop in their tracks because they run out of fuel. Or in a fight, you've got full health, but you've got like 10% fuel and you're telling your wingman, I've got to go. I have no fuel, I am going to be no use to you if I run out. Let's bail now. And there's a strategic choice that has to be done. Or you warp to the outskirts of the fight and get refueled by a starfarer that nobody ever uses, right? There's so many choices CIG could do, and the biggest thing right now is the energy that we lose, the energy that we gain, and the stupid mana system around engines. A full burning afterburner main engine like this can never be outpowered by all these at once. The size of it is too much. And again, we don't need to go faster in SEM, we just need a different way of maintaining energy in this game. Not only in space, but in atmosphere. Now, atmosphere is a lot more realistic in compared to most things, but it's still pretty fucking shit. But control surfaces might fix that. And I say might because unless I get my hands on it, I have no idea. Again, I have only the background of like IL-2, DCS World, and VTOL VR. So I have to gauge on how it will feel. Right, let's see how this works. Right, that's definitely an improvement, but the question is it a placebo effect? Let me do the same maneuver. Pushing forwards. The bug with the Hornet F7A is the nose dives when doing yaw maneuvers at high speed. There it is there, but it's not crashing. Now it is, now it's crashing. So if CIG have done any changes, just a little bit more now. That's a lot better than what we're having, because I can show you guys the video. This is the last one I sent to CIG. Done with the resistance. Just watch the nosedive when we yaw. See? Because there, if you actually like rotate fast, see, there's the nose going down. There's no need for the nose to go down. I never. And you see on the second time, it's even more prompting. When we're just doing a straight line, and you can see my TVI is straight. There's the nose. There's the nose. Look at that. Yeah. Okay. That's insane, right? I'll send this video to. So that's what we're testing with the Hornet, is basically to see, like, how prompt is the nose. But when I recover the afterburner, it's not doing it. Oh, there we go, but it's not dipping down, I'm actually able to recover it a lot faster. Yeah, we're nearly there. CIG just needs a little bit more. No, it doesn't, it wouldn't help at all. Stick cam doesn't need to be on, dude. You can literally look at my movement with the dials, right? Straight line, yawing. You can see with the G, there we go. There's the bug. Nose going down, so it's still there. Also, you also gotta remember that most of my yaw movement is done by pedals, so why would I need a camera of a joystick? Cameras on joysticks and fucking like your things in front is just such a fucking gimmicky thing that content creators do. Nobody fucking gives a shit about your joystick movement, your pedal movement, your keyboard presses, your mouse movement. Nobody gives a shit. Because everyone plays this game completely different. All we do is explain as we're going forward at speed, we are yawing around, and in that point we're trying to strafe and change the direction of movement. And you can see it go up, nose up, and then down. And that's not me pitching, that's just me yawing and strafing. You know? Because again, what I do as an input will not be the same as CIG unless they have it. Because again, my right stick is in between my legs. Most people have their right joystick for this game to the side. And it's such a shame because you can see here that the Hornet's able to do some really cool stuff, but it's the moment you spin around at high speeds, the nose goes down. We're nearly there, but we won't get it fixed until next week. Cheap viewers, oh my god, 2 bots back to back. What a lucky channel we are to get cheap viewers. It's gonna be so good when we get those cheap viewers, guys. I'm actually gonna make a system here. Give me a sec. I'm gonna just make it where if anybody fucking says that, they're gonna get automatically banned. Even if you are a legit user of the channel. So I wouldn't goof around because I am gonna make it where you are fully banned. And if it bans you, I'm not gonna unban you. Right. Yeah, we'll do... The group name is going to be Full Band. Ban user. I'll do subscribers excluded. Right, let's put that there. All right, so what are they saying as a phrase? All right, there we go. Probably won't get another one until tomorrow, but at least it'll auto ban from now on. See, it doesn't do it there. It's almost like when we input a little bit of slow... What did the bot say? It's basically advertising like view botting and stuff like that. Spike. And I just don't tolerate that shit. There's the nose now. Yeah, definitely with what CIG have done since I started reporting this to now, there's a huge improvement. We just need a few more tweaks. I definitely think CIG can get this sorted before we get live though, which is good if you're a Hornet pilot. Again, they managed to fix the arrow, which is really good. We just need this one from stopping to nosedive. I can't wait to, before, dates? What do you mean with that? Health and safety, how you doing, Millsy? Drake's, right. Drake's health and safety, right. Yeah. Jared was saying that they have like smoke effects and some other things like that, which just sounds really cool, man. I'm excited for that. Eventually down the line, I would love to see like a small fighter when it's shot in the engine, like you have to turn the engine off or it'll like burn you out basically. It would be so cool. Ooh, that was actually very smooth for a warping. Well, that's what they joked about. Calling ATC. Man, that is a very smooth approach on Seraph.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
Why can't you never give me the closer one? I suppose it is actually the closer one.
Landing gear deployed.
These bloody signs, man. Sorry, it's not. No, it's there. Oh. I definitely think, like, I would love for CIG to add in, like, a pre-mode. I think would be really, really cool. It would be. Just for, like, landing, you can stiffen up the thrusters. I hope CIG never get rid of the maneuvering thruster noise when slowing down in the Hornet. I still think they need a lot of work on these sort of like thrusters.
To the ASOC vehicle retrieval system.
I have crash the desktop when shooting or getting shot at. Really? Maybe delete your shaders? That's what I would suggest. I'm hoping I can upgrade my military F7A Hornet to a Super Hornet version in the future. That would be super cool. Because I am a big fan of the supers instead of the singles. However, a ghost is gonna look cool, man. I don't know how they'll do it. They'll probably make it where you can't have a military, like, ghost. Stuff like that. You gonna spawn my arrow? Hello? Open sesame? How would the Super Hornet be different than the base? It's just a two-seater. And it's got that capability.
Your vehicle.
Heavier. Not an atmosphere though. Rise. That's it. Rise. Whee. Co-pilot controls. Well, we got the Super Hornet just now, dude. The Super Hornet, the co-pilot controls the turret, but they're on the same capacitor system, which is really cool. I like how it works. Instead of the gunner getting extra rounds and stuff, it has to rely on communicating with the pilot. But I'm always like a fan of having like Wizzo and Rio fucking gameplay. We don't have enough, sadly. Like, this is where like a super saber would be cool. Or like a Tomcat, basically, where you have like a Rio in the back doing all the radar and stuff like that. It'd be cool. Have you never? Not many people do, because you can just put the ball turret on the Hornet. This is one thing that I disagree with. I think the normal Hornet should not be allowed the ball turret on the top. I think that should be a super only role based, you know, a job. It's the same with ghosts and trackers. They shouldn't be allowed to go stealth and have extra radar if you take off their dome and their stealth box. I hope CIG do that in the future. The moment you remove that box, you no longer have the perk of stealth. Or you don't have like advanced radar. Not like the tracker has advanced radar anyway, but it's meant to disable in interactions. Why does it not do this? This does not stay, man. But yeah, Super Hornet's cool. I love like a Gladius with two-seater as well. Like a trainer. No, no. They should make it where just literally normal Hornet can only have 2 size 3s and 2 size 2s. Ghost is the same. And Tracker is the same. Then when you move to the Mark II, it's still the exact same. The difference between the Mark 1 and the Mark II is the Mark 1 can tank more and the Mark II is more agile. And then when you come to the A versions, they're literally the same setup. The difference is because they've got a larger power plant, they get more shots. That's all. That's all CIG had to do. And then the Super had the ball turret on the top of it. But again, in lore and in their stupid Squadron 42 videos, obviously they made it where now we're stuck to the power creep that is what we're having to deal with right now, right? Which kind of sucks. Because the Hornet, especially the Mark II F7A and the F7A Mark I, got too much firepower. Far too much firepower for fighters. They're more like heavy fighters right now, so if CIG changes them to heavy fighters, then so be it, whatever. Or like in a stage between medium and heavy. They would have to do something, you know. Ooh, a little oversteer there. Yeah, Arrow's feeling really good. I can't wait for the MFDs, dude. It'll be so good. Very interested to see how the arrow or anvil's HUD's going to be anyway, because like the Gladius would be down here basically to see your speed, down in this little corner here. But we've not seen anything to do, well, like we've seen the Carrack, but nothing for like fighter, you know. Really cool. Really, really cool. Now, if they can just sort out the loads, planet stuff would be absolutely fantastic. Do you have a favorite manufacturer? Not really. Like, anything that sort of... Like, again, the Arrow is like a prime example of one of, like, the best looking fighters. But the biggest problem I have with it is the fucking struts and the way you're positioned in the chair. See, the hardest thing for me is that CIG have made it where you're in fighters that make no sense. Because a fighter is meant to allow you to, like, look over your shoulder completely and see oncoming, right? But CIG are making it where you have to do this to see if somebody's coming. Now, the Gladius has a really good bubble canopy, but it still has that same rule. Where you can't look over your shoulder correctly, because where we're positioned in the fighter is all wrong. They should have added bubbles, yeah, they really should have. Being able to look over your, like, shoulder here is super important, and you have to angle like this to be able to see. It should not be where I'm going at this angle. I should be able to do it whilst I'm going straight. So that's my, like, it's very difficult to be, like, enthusiastic when the design of these fighters are dreadful. Really, really bad. Like, somebody at CIG just... I don't know why they chose it this way. I really don't. They had the ability to really make it, like, especially when they talk about wanting to add VR and stuff. Head tracking, using joysticks, all these, like, peripherals that they talk about. It's like, why didn't you make it where the fighters had that ability, you know? Hey, Vault, how you doing? Because you're always fighting with struts, basically, in this game. But the new changes to gravity are really, really good. Air resistance as well. The restriction on it's a little bit too much, but again, we'll wait to see what the final product is. Nice to actually just be able to ride again without complications. Does RSI have a single seat fighter? No, not yet. It'd be really cool. You could probably count the Aurora, but this is where, again, I wish there was like a light fighter for every manufacturer, like RSI, you know. But ship sharing is lit? What do you mean? You mean being able to like let each other use ships and stuff? Or being able to transfer fire? Oh, share data up. Yeah. That'd be cool. Maybe without the fucking, oh, your ship is over here marker as well, you know? That would be nice. Alright. Ooh, God, that's a much further turn I thought it would be. Ooh, ooh. Too many overturns, like. Just trying to see what she can actually do in certain situations. Yeah, if they can just get the loads on these rocks to be a lot better, we'll be in a really good state. Sorry, I need to change this here. Hey, Droiden. Hope I'm saying that name right. ACD were ahead of their time. Spaceships go way too good with their music. Yeah, all flight does, though. That's why it works so well with Iron Man. Because that's like the perfect way to fly, right? Your own little suit, basically. I don't do racing, no. I'm just basically testing the boundaries of the ships now, because in the previous patch, that's live just now, 323, you would randomly explode whilst flying low to the ground. And in this patch here that we're on the test server, it's sort of fixed it and stuff, so we're just pushing limits. They've also done some changes to atmosphere as well, and how ships behave, so trying to see all the kinks. Hey Tough, how you doing, dude? I haven't played S yet, waiting for the ship showdown discounts. Yeah, that's a good time to get in.